These are contracted killings, then organized criminals and contracts through your law enforcement, through your state agencies, and through your federal agencies, and through your government agencies. These are all contracted killings, and the police are very aware that they're killing people to prove their cases, and that they're having them killed, having them raped and exploited and trafficked. Often these officers and agents and agencies are often pedophilic and often pimp or prostitute, and then sleep with the prostitutes often, and often our children, and are communists and Nazis. Now, communists believe in uh, denouncing their own race, human race, and raping kids to denounce the race, the human race, and are often subhuman. Also, communists are subhuman and often rape the dead, are narcissistic, or they sleep with dead people, and they believe in destroying the human race. Nazis believe in destroying their own race. That's what they're doing to themselves. They know what they're doing. They know they're destroying their character and their lives. And the police often pay them to keep from attacking them while they do these horrible things, and resent the police for basically making them do it. They are allowed to uh, make money and do their thing uh, with immunity for a while, and then the police often chase them to plunder them, or confiscate their money and their dope and their guns to resell back to them. They are killing all the good people and arming all the bad people now. And people out there need to be aware that they're very aware what they're doing, and they're a foreign government. They're a sixth government, and ever since they've been doing this, since this country was formed, the Church and Vatican have been by it. They often call him Abraham, uh, and Abraham was a very bad man, and didn't make no covenant with God. The true God was denounced because he wouldn't participate in this every 2,000 years to destroy ancient civilization, then destroy modern civilization. And that's exactly what they're doing, folks. We are into the third millennium. I am your millennium king, and I'm your gatekeeper. And I'm just recording some of this Holocaust. And just would like to remind you that these shows that you watch on law enforcement, try to tie them to the contract and organized crime, and organized through law enforcement and through your federal agencies, in which they took over a long time ago, and divided the criminals into Nazis and communists. They know that they're killing people, and they are very well aware that they are against our own race, and against the human race, and are evil, and can be very harmful. And law enforcement's the same way. They're Nazis in the South. Law enforcement Nazis in the South, and communists in the North. Uh, your president is involved in it. Most of your presidents have been involved in this. Uh, this goes all the way back to Israel. Israel is funding all this, and the Church and the Vatican are involved in all the websites, and children being abducted and sexually abused by clergy. That's how they tell you that the whole Vatican's involved in that kind of behavior, deviant behavior, and raping kids. And Boy Scouts then are following the priests and denouncing the human race by raping kids. And our Abraham raped his victim and then sacrificed him to his god Satan. And Satan's on earth and hell's on earth and represents all these foreign governments, these six governments coming out of Israel and now represent the Holy Roman Empire. This is part of it. The church condones all this and makes money from it. And all the websites and exploited children you can see on messaging and Facebook and let's see, child pornography programs and websites that solicit sex for basically free, and they get money from selling themselves over the website, and then you being able to order from it. And the law enforcement and the feds are very aware of it and are supporting it and are also denouncing the human race, and they are exterminating at a rapid pace. And this is just another example of these shows showing you the Holocaust in the United States. Thank you. As you can see, law enforcement just actually watches the whole thing unfold. They send a contract killer to then set up a ransom and then already have killed his wife and are now trying to get him to pay the money. And law enforcement's behind all this. And if the ransom is taken, then it's split with the criminal and law enforcement. They are selling drugs also by the ton. Law enforcement is, and the Patriot Act is not protecting our borders, but letting in tons and tons of drugs based upon rights of the federal agencies and CIA to sell drugs for profit. And I mean a lot of profit, lots of money being circulated. And this is communism and Nazism happening all over the world. Globally, we're at 500 million dying off and 300 million already dead. That's 5 million dying off and 3 million already dead times a million. And you get a round figure of the projection and how high it is right now. And that's all done with chemical warfare and just another form of genocide. Then COVID-19 is chemical 19, and it represents chemicals used over history, going back to the Spartans and the Athenians, and chemical warfare for 50 BC. That was before Christ. They were conducting studies in which they were using chemical warfare then against ancient civilizations. This is often biblical, and your king here is biblical, and the Zionists are probably plotting against me, so I have to be careful and try to get this out as quietly as possible. Organized crime, don't be mad. I have to support the innocent people out there because without this knowledge, they have no defense. So I know you do it for money and everything, but sometimes money just isn't worth the pain and suffering that you're delivering to innocent people. And you know, it's not worth the money canteen or prison sentence and all that shit. These people are scot-free, you know, and they relish busting you, and even though they know that it's all staged for their safety, and they're supposed to be rewarded, and you don't, you die in prison, and that shouldn't be something you stand for. My, I'm, on the other hand, went through the system and found all this out after I slowed down and stopped putting myself in danger like that, and was supposed to be killed in prison because of this testimony I give freely, because without it our country will be destroyed, and every living human being on earth will then perish. This is Boy Scouts. This is all through the Vatican. Cardinals and archbishops and popes. Pope John Paul was a Nazi. Francis is a Nazi, and often had rights over kings and queens, and killed with chemical warfare. Uh, uh, at least 12 or 14 or a lot of kings and queens playing gods, and Yahweh winning the most of them, because the kings were unaware of the chemical warfare and often would lose with their God, and the church would use special staged areas in which they would study how to unleash the chemicals then on the military and the population, like they're doing now. Uh, we're dying at a rapid rate, folks. I just hope you can protect yourself and you survive out there. I happen to be surviving because people are protecting me to get this message out to you. I just want you to know that your gatekeeper and your king is recording all this, and that he cares about you and your children very much. And I'm sorry this is happening to you. I'm very sorry. And see, they always use third party and everything. They got it all bracketed out, and what you don't see is that the criminal and the victim and all these people here are tracked by this sophisticated satellite system, and monitors and laptops in which record right attached to the human being. It's biological, and all your vitals and everything come right up on the laptop or the computer, which is a biological weapon, and it's also a chemical weapon, and can cause heart attacks and stroke. Any medical condition you can think of can be caused, and often diagnosed after they kill you, and then make it look like a virus or a disease of some sort, or a medical condition in which they think you can't tie it to it. But most of these medical conditions are all caused by chemicals, in which the pharmaceuticals are supplying and funding this chemical warfare, then on the United States, then ordered by Israel, and then attacking the hierarchy. In England, I am the hierarchy. I'm supposed to be the king of England, and the United States is refusing to give me money so I can go and change this strategy, and then take the throne of England. I know this sounds like it's not possible, but I am the king of England. I am Garrett the 20th Tudor, and I am also Henry the First. Those are surnames and are Windsor names. And Queen Elizabeth the Second is my sister, and is against me being king of England. I don't know why, but Philip Mountbatten wants to continue this path. They generate a lot of money from these chemical attacks, and have created a lot of foundations, and vaccines are big business. You know, the pharmaceuticals have billions of different chemicals in which they can poison us via satellite, and this biological, biochemical, chemical satellite in which administers toxins right into our system via satellite, and out of thin air, then recorded. You will see the particles appear into your bloodstream, and the more they release into your bloodstream, the more you become toxic, and then if it's a lethal dose, then you die from it. And with chemical 19, uh, that was one chemical 19, and now are releasing a 20th chemical, and then which causes a different symptom or different chemical reaction. And I believe it was some sort of lesions or something in the legs of children that we're seeing a mutated. It's not mutated, it's just another chemical, and it causes another symptom in which the new chemical is causing. And that'll go with 21 and 22, or however many they release. You go from a 2 week period of time to for it to get serious, and them to administer a lethal dose, then out of thin air and recorded particles being released in your system that creates cells that mimic viruses, but the toxins then dissipate after the body is dead, and then leave no trace of them being in the system. If you were to exhume the bodies, there would be no virus, but also there would be no chemical in the body. You have to have an independent study done then by your own scientists, in which you'd have to get a sick participant with chemicals already being administered, and then test their blood or whatever the procedure is to then identify these chemicals. And right now, the government controls all that. All right, thank you. Henry the First.